if you prepare well, and if you do decide to retake it, it can come in handy. I mean, at U of M Dearborn, they offer scholarships based on your ACT score. So 1 point can make the biggest difference, maybe a difference of about $4,000. So just prepare for the test, and good luck when you take it.
The next resource I'd like us to talk about is just our counseling office. The counseling office is there. How many of you know that there's a counseling office in your school? All of you, I hope. But now what do you use it for? Some of us think that we just go up there to sign up for classes, but it's actually, there's a lot more to it than that. So, Safa, can you please explain that to the students?
The counseling office is actually really helpful and can be really beneficial if you take advantage. If you get to know your counselor, they can help you apply for colleges. They'll tell you what classes to take, and they're not going to help you unless you show them that you actually want to go far. And not even just talking to the counselors, if you get to know the secretary too, she's usually very helpful. And on the desk, usually in almost all counseling offices, they have information about scholarships, about different colleges. The information is just sitting right there in front of you. I think you just have to go and grab them.
Safa and Karima made two very important points. The resources are there sitting for you, you just have to go in and grab them. The counseling office has a file cabinet that's full of scholarships. If you're worried about paying for college, go in there, pick up some forms, or ask. There's no harm in asking. There are people, like I said, a lot of this seems overwhelming. I'm looking out to the crowd as we're speaking, and I see some people just holding their hands in their heads or looking at us, and you are interested, I can tell. But it can seem very overwhelming. If you feel overwhelmed, ask. There are people out there that will help you. We will help you, your counselors will help you, your teachers will help you, or will at least point you in the right direction. Anise, can I have you talk about web resources and things that are available for people online?
Yeah, the internet is probably the easiest and most well-known way to find scholarships, information, anything you need to know about getting into the college you want to go to. I know a website called fastweb.com. It's very good for scholarships. You fill out a profile, and based on your profile, they connect you to what scholarships are right for you. So it's probably the best way to find money for college, because everyone knows it's rather expensive.
Instead of passing the mic up and down, I'll just announce the next two topics, and I'll have both the students talk about them. Mohammed's going to talk to you about library resources and things that are available for you at your libraries. These are free resources, and it's more than just books. A lot of you think that library is for nerds. It's not. Libraries for people who want to succeed in life, or who need resources and need the tools. Hannah, I want you to also talk about the community center and counselors and just the resources that are available for us at different centers within our community. So, go ahead. Hannah, you can go ahead. You're first in line, then Mohammed.
Okay, so there are a lot of resources that you can take advantage of. I mean, they're really easy to get a hold of. For the counselors, we already talked about that. You can, talk to your counselor anytime, leave them a note, get to know them well. You're going to be in high school for 4 years, and those are the people that can actually help you. So if you take advantage of from the beginning, get to know your counselor, you're going to have them for 4 years. So as long as you take advantage of that and let them know that what your intentions are, it should be really easy for you to get help from them. Also, there's the community center if you need help with your classes, with tutoring, with anything like that. There's a lot of ways to get help with school. If you don't understand something, you shouldn't wait till the end to figure it out. You can ask your teacher, you can go after school to the community center and get help there. If you're dual enrolling, the HFCC has a learning lab that you can go to for free. They always have professors on hand that'll help you in anything, math, science, technology, whatever you need. And it's really important that you stay on track with that, because it really shows how dedicated you are. There's help wherever you look. So if you don't wait till the end, for sure you're going to find help.
The library is a great resource to use. They have books, computers to do your work on, and even just the internet to browse or do research. But more than that, they have like computer literacy workshops that you can take for free. They teach you how to do PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and stuff like that. And that's important because when you apply to colleges or a job, you look at people who have those skills. And when it comes down to choosing, a person who has those skills is going to get chosen over a person who doesn't.
One last thing that I'd like to add on to what the student said was just a brief little blurb about local scholarships, application deadlines. Now, online there are a lot of scholarships that are available. Some of those are national or international scholarships. So your chances of winning are pretty harsh, but it's always worth trying. It's definitely always worth trying because what are you going to lose? You're going to lose maybe an hour or two of your time. What do you have to gain? You have thousands and thousands of dollars to gain. Local scholarships are something that I really want to encourage you guys to take advantage of. There are many groups in this community and in the Dearborn area that offer local scholarships. These scholarships are sitting there. These are groups that are collecting money to give out to deserving students. Students that have dedicated their time to succeeding, that have dedicated their time to education, students that have built up moral character, students that have dedicated their time to volunteering. If you believe, or if you have some type of dream or goal, that's what these scholarships are for. They're to help you succeed. So you need to get out there and figure out what tools or resources are sitting there. About application deadlines, sometimes the thing that makes the biggest difference is how early you apply. So if you have a goal and you're interested in going to college, don't limit which colleges you want to go to. Choose 2 or 3. Have a priority choice and then a second choice. Beyond that, figure out when the deadlines are for those scholarships and applications, when the deadlines are for the colleges. Because if you don't know when the deadlines are, you won't have any chance of applying to them. So get out there and ask. All right, before we move on, I know it's really hot and I can see you guys like fanning yourselves. I want to make sure you're paying attention. I want some of you to just tell me what these students have told you, what we've told you. Spit back the information that we've told you. What have we talked about since the beginning of this talk show? If I don't get any responses, I'm going to be a bit disappointed. Speak up a little bit. He said that there are some resources available in our communities. That's correct. What else? Correct. The library has resources, it has the internet, it has things that you can go to. I know Muhammad did say this, but they have those workshops. Take advantage of the workshops. When you're older and you're in college, let's say you're applying for a job, if you have the skills necessary, if you've attended those workshops and you know how to make an Excel spreadsheet, or you're extremely skilled in some digital media, that puts you in an advantage over other people who are also applying for that job. Especially in technical careers, and those careers usually pay pretty well. What else? We talked about a lot of stuff. About how college is important. Correct. College is important because sometimes it makes a difference. It changes your lifestyle. One thing that I was kind of interested in, when Anissa asked us, why should we go to college? I kind of thought about it and I sat there just thinking to myself. One thing I'd like to say about that is that if you choose to go to college, you go because of the experience. It helps build you as a person. It opens up your mind to worlds that you maybe would have never been exposed to, and it teaches you how to develop, not just personally or academically, but morally as well. So that's something that you guys should think about. Let's go on to our next question. Thank you for everyone in the audience who is actually paying attention, for the few students that actually responded. Our next question. We have 5 topics that I'd like each of you to talk about. Hannah's going to talk about the GPA and how that makes a difference. Anissa's talking about the ACT. Muhammad's talking about community service and leadership and how that makes a difference. Karima will talk about setting goals and having a plan A and a plan B. Safa will talk about recommendation letters and personal letters, or personal statements, because those are really important. Sometimes they're not emphasized as much. So I'll hand it over to them.
Okay, well, what recommendations are is that usually colleges ask for a teacher to describe who you are as a person, how were you in class, and usually to get a good recommendation, you have to know the teacher really well. And if you're one of those students that are hardworking and does their homework and keeps up, teachers won't mind writing them. and they can make a big difference. Teacher recommendations, and you should at least give them 2 weeks to write it. Give them time to write it because they're the one to describe.